the last session of the day, and this is a fireside chat. Let me invite the two moderators. One is not sufficient. We want two of them. Where's the other gentleman? Oh, he's in. Okay. So Ranu, please, may I have you here? And Apoorva, we started the day with you guys. We're going to end with you guys. Please, they need no introduction, so no introduction whatsoever. But I'll allow you to please invite your panelists, two of them. And what we are going to discuss is legacy meets innovation. We just discussed at the earlier panel the challenges, intergenerational family wealth transfer and managing. And here it is, continuation of the same. So over to you guys.
Thank you. Thank you. May I invite Mohandas Pai and Vimal Ambani, please. We are honored to have both of them here with us. To just a few lines of introduction. Mohan, who has been a dear friend. I was telling him that while this is Tycon Mumbai, we have the ability to import the right kind of stuff from Bangalore. So we imported him from there. And Vimal, of course, you also we imported. So welcome here. But Mohan, apart from being involved in several institutions, specifically everyone knows about his role at Infosys, but what not too many people know about is his role in investing in Aarin Capital and then 314 Capital, which Pranav and Siddharth Pai have started under his mentorship. And so he has an amazing perspective to share. And Vimal, who's been a tech entrepreneur, very passionate about technology, investing, and someone who we're really looking forward to talking later today. So, gents. So, given that this is the last session for the evening, we'll try, and Apoorva and I will try and kind of prod a few questions, and feel free to kind of, take this discussion, because we have a broad topic on legacy and innovation, or legacy and institution building was another form which we took this discussion towards. Both are different things, but let me kind of combine all of them. And the first question I have for both of you, Mohan, Vimal, is what is your definition of an institution? Tell us about, companies, groups which you found in India, which you found institutional, more institutional than others, and why? What would be the reason you'll ascribe to that?
Well, let me talk about institutions from the business point of view. I think businesses are institutions who have been there for more than, let's say, 2 generations, because longevity says they got something very special. They're respected by society. Most people will want the children to work with them. They buy their product and services and respect them. I think that's most important. Because respect in society comes when people feel that you're contributed to the betterment of society, you lived up to a value system which people want to follow, and you're being an exemplar for others to follow. I think these are the norms that you must do. If you apply the norms, you'll find many companies which have become institutions because they've been there 2 generations at the minimum. Why 2 generations? Because it requires time to make an impact. 15, 20, 30 years. About 20 years ago, companies lived 30, 40 years. Now mortality is 25, 30 years. Longevity has come down. And if they've been around and produced goods and services and worked with people for a long period of time, then they become institutions which people refer to with a sense of pride. I think I would define it that way.
Thank you. Vimal?
Hello. So what comes to my mind is, as you rightly said, was that when you look at institutional building, what part of the entrepreneurial spirit who founded the institution has been institutionalized in the company itself, and how that makes it go forward over decades and several decades, not only 1 or 2. I mean, if you look at 2 different companies that come to my mind, one is BlackBerry, for example. Okay, it's a company that did not imbibe it did not imbibe the spirit of innovation, the spirit of the ecosystem and being a part of the ecosystem. And it was a fantastic company at point of time and then disappeared overnight. On the other hand, in a very traditional manufacturing environment, like a manufacturing business, you look at 3M, it has survived over the generations, and it was a mining company, and then became literally a product company with cutting-edge products, with a defined strategy of putting X percentage of the products into obsolescence. So you have to imbibe that whole cultural spirit of what makes a company tick and what makes a company survive in the environment that it is playing in.
The one add-on question I would have to that is that when you look at these institutions, what are the traits, specific features you found in some of the institutions you've seen, which made them geared up for multi-generational or that longevity or that ability to sustain cycles? What were the traits in these companies, and what's the message for the startups, as they kind of build their businesses, which are more robust businesses?
Well, these were, by definition, started by first-generation entrepreneurs who slogged it out, who sacrificed to build the enterprise through internal accruals and not by raising multiple rounds of capital. They were frugal, who fought the odds and built it up day after day after day, working 90-hour weeks and all the nice stuff that people don't want to listen to today, and sacrificing everything and putting the company first much before the family. And then they focused on delivering great value to their consumers, and they treated their employees like family, and they imbibed the values in their children. And for them, getting respect in society was very important. I come back to respect because respect is not won in society by everybody. The richest man in any country may not be the most respected man. Why? Because, people respect those who have contributed to the betterment of everybody because that's what people believe in. For example, in this country, a learned professor, teacher is possibly most respected than many billionaires. He may have a smaller circle of influence. I think these are the traits: self-sacrifice, focus, frugality, a value system, treating people well, and being humble. Have you ever seen a first-generation entrepreneur who's been successful not be humble? You'll be surprised at the humbleness. Sam Walton in the United States. I can give Indian examples, but then you may accuse me of saying, why are you talking about 1, not 2 and 3? Sam Walton used to share a room with somebody else and be very frugal, right? And I know he built it up at a late stage of his life. And what an outstanding example, right? His children probably file in jets and stay in the better places, but he still will have the, and our, even Berkshire Hathaway's, Warren Buffett, look at the man. He built an institution for Berkshire. He's made more wealth than most people. So I think that's important. The key is the person behind that exemplifies that industry and wants to be institutionalized, and they want to pass on a legacy. And what is the legacy you can pass to the next generation? Respect. Respect. Respect is the most important asset a human being can have, Ranu. You can have money, like, they say, मेरे पास बंगला है, पैसा है, मेरे पास ये है, वो है, तेरे पास क्या है, मेरे पास माँ है. That is respect. Ma is respect. I mean, the love of a mother for a son who has gone the straight path is the greatest respect you can ever have.
That's very, very well put, Mohan. Vimal, what would you say?
So, listening to his eloquent answer, I forgot the question. Would you mind respect?
No, my question was more around what traits you see which make these organizations look more like institutions and build like institutions. Is there a pattern to it? Is there any common trait?
So I echo his views also. The respect for the whole ecosystem, whether it is suppliers, partners, employees, families of employees, how you treat them, how do you bring them up? Failures can be done by, rather mistakes can be done by anybody and everybody, including yourself, right? How do you accept those failures and say, okay, now what is the path out in a very congenial manner? And in that sense, if you imbibe that throughout the institution, that goes towards building an institutional, it becomes as we call muscle memory of the institution in that sense. You look at, if to take one Indian example, okay, ITC, for example. You take top to bottom of ITC, the person knows his job. It's a very professional organization. The industry they may are in right now, may not be this thing. And I do remember, for example, we were out with on a family a weekend, rather, with one of the top families of the US in that sense, the top 3, 4, 5, whatever it is. And, it was, the kids were swimming, we were swimming, etc. And we ordered pizza for dinner. I remember the owner of the estate, and it's a large, multi-generational wealth. He himself took the cash out from his wallet, paid for the pizza, picked up the boxes from the gate, brought it home, brought it to the pool, opened the pizzas, put paper plates and forks for all of us to eat. After that, he himself and all of us picked up the boxes, put them in the trash can. I cannot imagine that happening anywhere in India today.
That's so well put. Just one thing to that, there's a thing about a billionaire going to lunch with someone else, and this other person who's not a billionaire took the second cheapest wine and said, look, I typically take the second cheapest wine. And the billionaire says, sorry, I don't do that. I take the cheapest wine on the menu.
So today we have both of you sitting here. I have one simple question, sir. In the last 10 years, we have seen startups touching $10 billion, and even some companies, which is by venture capital investments. But we've never seen companies like OpenAI. We've never seen companies like NVIDIA, Google. We are 10 years in the ecosystem now, and we have 1,000 investors sitting here who are cutting early checks. Is there 2 or 3 points which you would like to tell them to what are the, that they can do to create such companies in India?
Well, I want to ask you a question in turn. Where is Microsoft, United States? Where is Apple, United States? Where is Facebook, United States? Where is NVIDIA, United States? And then where is Oracle, United States? Where is Salesforce.com, United States?
Correct.
Not in Europe, not in Japan.
Correct.
China has got its own great companies. Why
Yeah.
is that? Because you named ChatGPT and all that, and all the innovation, and NVIDIA.
Yeah.
Please remember, US is a $32 trillion economy with $35 trillion of debt, with $2.5, $3 trillion of spending on technology every year, with a huge research system in our universities.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable, the greatest country the world has ever seen in human history.
Agreed.
So China is coming up close because the Chinese government is spending money. So you need an ecosystem to create a ChatGPT. ChatGPT got billions of dollars for the last 10 years, attracted the brightest minds from all over the world to do it. They never had to earn a penny of revenue, and they're saying we're doing it for the greater public good, blah, blah, blah. Now, does the circumstance exist in India? We are a $4 trillion economy. Our spending on technology internally is $50 billion. Export is $235 billion. And nobody writes a check and waits for 10, 15, 20 years for any deep technology to come up. And we don't have R&D in our universities. The R&D in the universities sucks, right? Because we don't spend enough money. We're not giving them enough money. Even there's IITs and others, and they do some decent research, but we don't have fundamental R&D. So the ecosystem has to come for you to create ChatGPT and others. I keep hearing asked, why can't anybody create a Microsoft, a Google? Why doesn't India have its own Google? You guys are a piece of shit. They tell us in the software service industry. We built the largest software service industry for any country working in this poor country which nobody cared, and where you went with the passport and they spit on you over 30 years. $235 billion of software export this year, and we bring in $165 billion of cash. We have a trade deficit of $270 billion for goods. We have a surplus on service of $240 billion because of software and remittances. And that's how we are able to survive without going to the IMF every year. Others will be going to the IMF every year. This is what we build, but we don't get the respect. Right? Where is the Google? Where is the Facebook? Man, it takes time. Where are the dollars? Where is the Panam? I'll give you an instance. China invested $835 billion in venture and startup from 2014 till now. US invested 2.34 trillion. India 160 billion, out of which only 20% is Indian capital. How much is LIC invested in startup? Anda. How much are insurance companies in Anda? Pension funds Anda. How much has Bombay invested? Peanuts. For all the wealth of Bombay, how much money have you put in? You chase real estate, you chase REITs and all the stuff. Come to Bangalore, join with Bangalore, work together and invest in everything. Give us 10, 15,000 crores a year for the next 10 years. We'll have ChatGPT and the father and mother too.
Wow. Great. That's what we wanted to hear, to be frank.
I come here to express my disappointment about Mumbai. Mumbai is the financial capital of India. It's got huge amount of capital. Some of the most brilliant people in the financial service industry here, like Ranu and him, right? They're here. This is a great city. It's been an entrepreneurial city for 300 years. The stock market started here. You guys are global. But what money have you put into technology? We are in the midst of the digital revolution today. We're the third largest digital power in the world after the United States and China. And to grow, you need three things: human capital, physical capital, and financial capital. We have human capital in this country, which is unbelievably talented. Brilliant young people who know technology very well. We have physical capital in the form of technology, in the form of satellite links, hypercomputing, etc. coming up. But we don't have financial capital. We invested $1 trillion in the GDP, Ranu. 31% of GDP is invested. $1 trillion. But how much goes in technology? Zero. We give 9 lakh crore as subsidies to everybody in this country. How much do we spend on R&D? R&D is 0.4%, largely to defense in this country. We spend how much? 3% of GDP in subsidies. How much do we spend on technology and everything else? We have a startup fund of 10,000 crores, which was given in 2015, which has given 95,000 crore investment just now. And how much money is going in? Nothing. I went to my chief minister and said, Bangalore has got 25 lakh people working in technology, the biggest ecosystem in the world. What have you done for technology and instead of giving us bad roads and clean on roads? Now this year they gave some 400 crores for making a fund of fund and some small daily things. I mean, it's ridiculous. Give us the money. Invest money, and for that, we don't need government. We need Bombay and Bangalore to come together.
Yes.
The IPO market has opened up. We need risk capital to come. All of you guys with big fat checks sitting down, counting your cash morning to evening, put some money to work in this revolution. In the next 5 years, we're going to have AI, quantum computing, robotics, biotechnology, and the speed of change is going to be unbelievable. And you must participate and grow. The startup industry is worth $600 billion with 120 unicorns and $400 billion. We have taken it up to $1.5 trillion in 2 years. That's the challenge. Put in $100 billion in 2 years and watch the magic, and you'll all become billionaires.
Totally agree. Wow.
So in response to your questions, Mumbaikars, if you feel alone, don't be. He's given me the same thing for Gujarat also. So we are, all of us are in the same boat in some sense. But having said that, your question was, what can entrepreneurs do? I think more than entrepreneurs, we as society also need to change our mindset in one way. Couple of things. One is a role model. What hits the headlines is 1 lakh crore investment in one project. What does not hit the headlines is so many thousand jobs created or so many quality jobs created by so-and-so technology company, etc. So we need to change our focus, number one. And second thing, equally important, I think, is we need to celebrate failures rather than putting down failures. And that's one of the reasons why entrepreneurs want safe bets and safe investments.
Agreed. Great message. Great message. I think this platform, I think in the last session, we are getting really, really good inputs, how we can improve in the next 7 to 10 years, or rather 3 to 5 years. Next question to you, sir, both of you, is advanced manufacturing, space and defense. They are the most talked about sectors in India now. And I also believe that there is a great alpha possibility there. Companies like Jetwork, companies like Eternal Machine in manufacturing, companies like Agnikul, and a couple of them have done in defense, and a lot of good defense and space tech startups. Again, the same question. We understand that, whatever entrepreneurs are doing, their bit is great. Do you see a possibility in the near future of these 3 sectors particularly creating great alpha in the startup economy or overall economy in the future?
Well, I believe so because space sector is coming up. We got a very good space policy. Maybe $500 million has gone into it. We have young companies which are putting up satellites into space at low orbit, and they're getting their own machines. We got 3D printed jet rockets coming up like Tesla does. So I think you see possibilities. They're going to take time, but we had a great start. All right, and in the manufacturing 4.2 and others, where everything is robotic and everything is by IoT, the data is captured, and we have automated factories. We're already seeing it all across India. We've seen many robotics companies come, which are selling, which are doing well, but they're small and they need to grow. And advanced manufacturing and precision manufacturing is something that is fantastic. It's happening in this country, but they're very small. And for that, defense has to be a push. Because you see, in defense, you need great technology, and today, to fight wars, you need something else. Just today, I saw that Russia shut down 350 drones. What is Ukraine doing? They're manufacturing drones in 24 hours, putting it out to Russia, so all the Russian tanks are coming, they see them, and they blast them before they come inside, and they're sending it all the way to Moscow. Just imagine the challenge, the greatest power the world has seen, apart from America, through ordinary drones. So the entire warfare has changed. What has China done? China has created an AI algorithm to simulate warfare. They can simulate warfare, put in all the assets coming for warfare in one thing, and they can do predictive analysis, say, how much time will it take for them to get all the logistics done, and which are the logistic part to get it, and how they can have automated warfare. And I think America has got, India doesn't have it. I'm working with a group of 20 people who are AI experts in Bangalore, to create a platform where India can do all that. We require $100 million. Who is going to give $100 million? That's the problem. I think, you see, now these are great industries. We have an edge because the cost of robotics has come down by 60%. I think China is a global leader, and US is there, and Europe is there. We have to do that, but we have to scale up. And I think the scaling up is the important thing. We don't have time. We got to go 10x in 2 years, 3 years. And for that, industry has to come together to accept their products, to automate. Second, because they need customers. And second, we need funding to come to make sure that these things happen in scale. But that is the future for India.
Superb. So, all these, the advanced manufacturing, space technology, etc., huge investments and fantastic opportunities for investments, I would say. But at the same time, fine, we can invest in India to create these products and technologies for somebody else's use. One big thing that I think we can do in India, as government working with partnership with industry, is to create markets within India itself for these space products, LEO satellites, low Earth orbit satellites. Why can't we use LEO satellites for, surveying, for crop monitoring, for crop disease monitoring, etc., etc. Big Hath Agro, I'm sure a lot of you would be knowing. Big Hath Agro is piloting a project, I believe, on using LEO satellites for looking at crop diseases, etc. Can we not use that along with let us say, regulations, changing in regulations where land survey maps can be done, contour survey maps can be done, which are legally accepted. Today, in one state, I will not name a state, otherwise it will become a Congress BJP issue and all that. But in one state, survey is all digitized. So you can get a survey map, but that's clearly stamped, not legally valid. The same survey map, when you get from the government, the same thing, legally valid, it has to be signed by a government officer, talati, whatever it is. So clearly the intentions are very clear in that sense. So we need to open up markets for these products because after all, entrepreneurs can develop products, financiers can invest into these products. Where is the market? If at the end of the day we have to stand in line and sell to a country to a company in the US and Europe, why can't we sell the same thing in India and actually create better value out of the same technologies?
$80 billion Tesla was down after this spacecraft crashed. And I'm sure in the next couple of months, it will be back on the track again. Yeah, but do we have the mindset or do we need to prepare our mindset? Do you have some messages for the Mumbaikars, large ticket investors who are cutting large checks to the startups?
Look, what all I'll say is, this is a sector which requires allocation from your family funds. This requires an allocation. If you got 100, my family has allocated 85% of whatever we are worth, we are not worth too much, into venture and capital. 85% for the last 12 years. All right? We're taking a huge risk. We're still yet to see, we got valuation, we got MOIC, but we want to see ROCDA. Okay? And that's important. Hopefully in the next 2-3 years, we're going to see that. So you must allocate some money, 15-20%. That you must see. Second, you must decide whether you're going to play at seed, Series A, or growth. And that decide upon an inclination. And third, you must create networks, because the skill to identify a startup which is very good is very rare. And those people who have seen a lot of startups can do it by instinct. I mean, I invested into a seed capital of 45 startups in a crazy year where I was #1 or Ratan was #1 or whatever it is, long back. And to me, when they came into my room and they spoke and the way they did it and the passion, I said, okay, here is 1 crore, 50 lakhs, etc. It just worked. So you need to have a network of people, because the network of people have to work together to help these startups, set up their startup, grow a little bit, advise them, because most startups is the first time somebody has done business. Here's the brilliant young techie getting this idea. They're doing a startup, Ranu. They don't know how to run the company. They don't know what is the balance sheet. They don't know how to have HR. They don't know anything. You've got to help them do that, and then work with them to raise the next 2 rounds of capital so you are safe and exit. That is in this. Then you come to Series A. For Series A, you're better off getting over the discovery problem. We have a discovery problem. What's the discovery problem? How do you find out good startups? In our office in Bangalore, we get 700 startups coming for capital every month. We've seen 40,000 startups in 7 years, all electronically, 700. The flow is fantastic. They develop an algorithm to find out who is what and all that. They've been fairly successful. They made 120 investment. They've done well, Ranu. But these are young people who have done that. So I think go to that. And then when you come to, then work with funds. There could be 10, 20 funds to invest to sit, work with them, talk to them, and see which are the best companies and join them in working. So we got to create a coalition of investors. Everybody will not have skill. There are too many family funds where a young guy comes with an MBA from Wharton and says, I'm the greatest guy in the world and I'm going to do it, and maybe blows his father's money up. But the skill is not there. The skill comes with time, exposure, and network. So form part of the network, and each of you work to grow the company. Some you may make money in 3 years, some 10 years, some 15 years. It's a long haul. The glamour is there in the first 2 years when you get valuation. Then the pain starts for 8 years till you get an exit. And when you're running a bad patch like we had for the last 3 years, there's no exit. And then these guys blow up all the money, your hard-earned money. They blow it up. And we've seen a lot of blow-ups, right? Somebody blew up $6 billion, Ranu. $6 billion. You raised $6 billion, went to $25 billion, and blew up $6 billion, man. $6 billion. I went on TV and said, Vijay Mallya should be congratulated for having 11,000 crores of loss in the balance sheet, because you got to admire him for making so much of losses. And then he called me up and abused me, but that's different. But then we've seen somebody blow up $6 billion, 35, 40,000 crores. Now look, so you got to do that and create network. If you do all that, I'm sure you'll do well, because please remember, Ranu, the good news is next 5 years, because of technology disruption, is going to be unbelievable. Shocking. What AI is doing is shocking. Every day I read something, I get shocked what all AI can do. Then you're going to have quantum computing. DeepSeek just announced today, they got a quantum computing capability 100,000 times bigger than Google. Then you're going to have genomics where people are going to get longer with DNA medicine. You're going to have robotics where robots will do 60% of human activity. They're all coming together in the next 5 years, because we are in the midst of the digital revolution which will transform society on a scale never seen before. So I think it's a great time for all to invest, but you need a Ranu, you need a Vimal, you need many young people here who can be your guide and help you invest.
Thank you. Vimal, any closing thoughts?
After his talk? No, I do think India has a fantastic, India is at a sweet spot right now. And I think it's, one thing I must say is India has reached a point where in the past, maybe 5 years, 10 years ago, capital called the shots, not the ability. Today, I think if anything, it is equal, or maybe the ability is higher than the capital. Capital is chasing ability, capital is chasing knowledge, capital is chasing ability to execute on the ground, and that's a great sign for growth of human capital, I think. And in that sense, I think India has a great long innings to play, and fantastic time for family wealth funds to invest patient capital, long-term capital into the play.
I'll just end by, Ranu just raised $150 billion for a company called Darwin Box. How many of you heard of it? Darwin Box, SaaS, HR cloud #1 in the world in Gartner, more than SAP and more than Oracle. Can you believe it? A small teeny-weeny company happens to be in Hyderabad. They should come to Bangalore. But Ranu raised 150 billion. And you were oversubscribed. You got the best investors in the world. 150 million, a billion valuation. He did it, just now did it. Have you ever heard of a SaaS HR company? They got 1,000 customers, replaced 300 of them from SAP and Oracle. Can you believe that? SAP and Oracle dominate the global market, replaced 300. Great companies started from scratch. It's taken them about 8 to 9 years to come to this stage. They're still below $100 million in revenue. Now we got this great company. How does the revenue become $1 billion? Because they went to go sell in India, they don't pay money. They have to underprice. Whenever you see a startup, they come with great technology, beat them down on the price. Pay them decently, because when you buy great technology from a startup, you got to understand, if you don't pay them well, they're not going to be around 3 years, and if they die, you are going to be in trouble. So we need this kind of business culture. But let me tell you, Ranu, great things are happening. I've been in technology since '94. I'm more excited today than ever been in my life. More excited, more happy seeing all these young people come up. But we need money. Give us capital. Connect to Bangalore. Bring Bangalore to Bombay. Bring Bombay to Bangalore. 2 are enough. We don't need Chennai. We don't need Hyderabad. We don't need Gurgaon, Girwam. Only Bangalore, Bombay. I think we do that. And we'll have a high-speed train to go between 2 of us in 3 hours in maybe 5-6 years.
That's so lovely. What a way to close the day today. And kind of as always happens, if any of you listen to Shankar Ehsaan Loy and his song Breathless, I think Mohan leaves me breathless with the way he articulates data and articulates the different points which come with it, and his logic is so
Awesome.
good, so clear. Thank you very much, both of you.
Very excited.
Very exciting. I think बंगला है, कपड़ा है, माँ है, इन्वेस्टर है कि नहीं, अब ये देख लो आप.
देखना है.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. My God. Bombay and Bangalore, the Hyderabadis are not happy. Yeah. Please, come. Already has bullet train is coming to work. Wait, there's some memento as well. Please. Ranu, let's start with Ranu first. This is for Ranu. First moderators.
Thank you.
He is a special man. He'll be last. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thanks. Thank you so much. Thanks, appreciate that. Really good inputs. Sorry? I said really good inputs. Always a pleasure. Vimal, thank you so much. Thanks for your... Pleasure, appreciate that. Thank you. Apoorva, this is for you.
It's for me also. Great.
Asking them some tough questions, getting answers. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, sir. We'll catch up on the other thing as well. Pleasure's all ours.
What happens when life breaks down?
All done.
Yeah, working now. So thank you once again, all of you, for a very engaging, very lively day. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow, for our flagship TiECon event. And I'd like to pass on my sincere gratitude to Rajesh for carrying the day today and stringing everything together. Thank you very much, Rajesh. Thank you. If I can also, in the same light, give you that memento.
Oh, thank you. That was required. Thank you so much. Thanks, man. Thank you so much. Yeah. There is no more than they're gone. Oh, the video guys. Thank you. All right. He's coming. All right, thanks everybody. This was, I think, a day well spent. Well spent. This is on or this is off? Okay. Where is push? Is on. Is on. This one is on. Okay. All right. All right. I think we have some drinks and snacks outside, and then we'll see all of you tomorrow. Thank you.